Hello, I'm Zachary Evilsizer, and thank you for joining me. As most of you know, I work in the Research and Development Department here at Cyanotech, developing ways to improve our algae cultures through strain husbandry and improvements of the like. But, as only a few of you know, my passion and specialty is in environmental sustainability. Therefore, today I am going to show you how we can bring the two together here at Cyanotech to the advantage of, well, all of us really, the environment, the community, and ourselves. But enough about me. Let's talk about us, our organization here at Cyanotech. We are an aquaculture facility that produces health supplements made out of algae. Yes, this delivers the splendor of whole health from paradise to our customers. Our product culture is centered around healthy individuals, most of whom are endurance athletes, and they use our natural products to help positively supplement their diet and active outdoor lifestyle. We are also based in Hawaii, and we should be working with aloha and respect for the land, or aina. Yes. But on closer inspection, we are a more burdensome facility on the island than our brand image lets on. Thankfully, our impact on the environment has gone under the radar thus far. However, we cannot keep operating this way and continue to survive in this current environmental climate. Consumers are becoming more and more savvy when it comes to the products that they buy. This drives companies to become more transparent in their operations and necessitates higher quality business practices. Fortunately for us, there's a huge push in the market for sustainable business practices that help the environment as well as our bottom line, so that much of the companies around the world are profiting from the sustainability advantage just like we can. Studies show that companies in the Dow Jones Sustainability Index outperform the general market, and a report from Goldman Sachs found that leaders in environmental, social, and governance policies are leading in stock performance by an on average 25%. Yes, sustainability is easy for those in the know, and informed decisions are so routine, and easy matters such as procuring a corporate vehicle fleet, programming heating and cooling systems, adjusting energy settings on computers, commuting to work, and even equipment like paper, printers, or kitchen supplies can reduce a company's environmental footprint and improve the bottom line. Some companies are using sustainability to their advantage, are pretty household names. Kind of like Lockheed Martin. I bet you've heard of them. Well, they have improved energy efficiency at company sites nationwide using sustainability, and at one Arkansas facility, green teams have implemented software upgrades, reducing waste and improved better management of lighting and air conditioning that led to over $200,000 in savings, as well as reducing CO2 emissions by 2,332 metric tons. Yeah. Another example would be eBay's green teams. Yes, they have one too. They encourage companies to build San Jose, California's largest commercial solar installation, reducing CO2 emissions over 1 million pounds a year and saving $100,000 so far since 2017. It's a pretty big deal. So, all of these businesses are profiting from the sustainability advantage. Well, their example inspired me to find ways where Cyanotech could prosper from riding the green wave. Taking a look into what we're doing, I found opportunity in the primary resource that we use in our operations at Cyanotech: fresh water. Cyanotech is a significant potable water user, with each of our 70 large ponds holding roughly 500,000 liters of water in operation every day. Well, naturally, it would make sense to develop ways to reduce our water footprint. I mean, it would reduce our environmental impact, but if we reduced our water consumption, it would also give us opportunities to reuse it in other parts of our facility. I mean, sure, we could just try and export it and sell it to other facilities, but I doubt that would be really logical here on the island. However, putting our outputs back into our inputs for our cultivation facility will increase the profit margin for us. Yes, both input-wise and output-wise. And that's where sustainability has our back for the advantage. Yes, that's where the trick is. Currently, Cyanotech is paying on average of $144,000 a month in municipal water costs for base farm operations every day. That's about 2,525,000 liters of water a day. This equates to, well, $1.89 a kiloliter, based off the norm Hawaii cost of water supply for agriculture, which we are an agriculture business. However, we are expelling as outputs 1 to 2 million liters of water a day, and the waste stream still contains small amounts of nutrients that we can use for growing even more algae. So, if we're able to recycle that lost water back into cultivation, we would be able to save $328,000 in reduced operational costs a year, just from the water and nutrient saves combined. And this goes right into our gross profit. Yes, we don't have to mess with anything else because it's reduced from our regular operating cost. However, implementing a water recycling system is not as straightforward as it would appear. I mean, it would be easy to just start a new cultivation cycle with the freshwater outputs from the previous harvest cycle, but there's a lot of non-target species left over, a lot of contaminants. These non-target species often eat our algae, that we're trying to cultivate, and they take up all the nutrients before our algae is able to get any. And this gives us poor quality yields, stifles our profits. We don't want this. However, if we are able to eliminate all of these contaminants in our recycled water, then we could effectively implement a closed-loop cultivation system, free from initial contaminants. This media free of initial contaminants will allow the algae to have 3 days head start in our open raceway systems to develop into cysts and produce the astaxanthin that we extract and sell. Once our cells are encysted, yes, the algae cells, they are immune to all the pests that eat it. Yes, and most of the contaminants, if they can't eat our algae, they'll die off. Well, from starvation, really. This cell-protected growth then will allow for greater production of our product, which then further increases our bottom line to about $1 to $2 million a year. Pretty good, right? While developing a way to implement water recycling that solves our contamination problems and, in turn, might increase productivity, is a great example of how sustainable thinking can produce ideas that have compounding advantages and amplify profit potential. Nevertheless, development theory will not convince stakeholders and shareholders to enact a project without proper evidence. So, no matter the profitability, you still have to put in a lot of work. Therefore, I proposed a mid-scale experiment to show that recycled water can cultivate our target algae as effectively as media made with new water, and find out which method would be more effective. Well, there are a number of ways to eliminate these target species from newly recycled media. However, industry literature only praises chemical treatment or membrane filtration as effective techniques. Luckily, Cyanotech just purchased a large chlorine dioxide generator to be used on the spirulina side. I chose to use the chlorine dioxide for chemical decontamination because of its already purchased equipment, and we had the materials on site. And since finding that chemically treated media has adverse effects on spirulina algae, the machine we have has been collecting dust. But luckily, the water that we want to grow our Haematococcus algae in goes through a similarly chemical treated step. So we know that this particular species of algae in chlorine dioxide treated media should grow just fine. And using already bought materials, machines, and resources will lower initial development cost. And this will in turn increase the likelihood of project approval. So that turns us to our second option, which is membrane filtration system. And for that, we chose Zobi filtration units. The decision to use Zobi was because the innovators are stationed on Kauai, not far from our facility on the Big Island. And they have had success filtering both of our types of algae at Global Algae Innovations just across the ocean. However, renting a pilot scale version of this apparatus is more costly than having it on site already, like the chlorine dioxide generator. But it had the most potential for success given our target algae and was much cheaper than any other unit out on the market. So we decided to go for those. 6 4-foot by 8-foot mid-scale ponds were set up with alternating conditions to which normally treated ponds were compared to recycled treated ponds. The algae was then tested for biomass totals and growth rates and evaluated for their performance. As the procedures were followed, it turns out that the chemically decontaminated recycled water yielded poor results. We found that the biomass and growth rates had poor production in those ponds, and therefore chlorine dioxide really wasn't the path we wanted to go down, and it wasn't going to be profitable enough to make that environmental leap. However, we still had one more option in membrane filtration, which is good. So we set up the same experiment as done with chlorine dioxide that we did, but for the Zobi harvester system. And The results on this mid-scale test indicate that water recycled using a pilot scale membrane system actually increased the growth rate of our algae by 17% or more. That's pretty good, especially compared to our normal routine for regular water. As well, this successful water decontamination and recycling tool ensured that we would have that extra production boost from the cells cysting 3 days ahead of time, like was previously mentioned. Therefore, not only would we be able to recycle our water with this system, but we could find a boost in productivity from contaminant control and increase growth rates, allowing us to market more volume per year. Really, the membrane filtration system was a good find. The only downside to this discovery, though, is that a full-size Zobe system that is capable of recycling water in our full-scale cultivation system is a $1.7 million investment, though we know that our return on investment is large and definitely worth it. Right now, Cyanotech does not have the capital to put towards a membrane filter system at this time. However, the results of the project have been reviewed by the Cyanotech Board of Directors, and within the next 2 fiscal years, there's expected to be a full-scale Zobe harvester membrane at the facility, facilitating a water recycling project. This initiative makes me happy to be a member at Cyanotech, and I am glad I am able to put Cyanotech on the path to sustainable improvement with this initiative. I'm even more grateful that they took the results of this effort as an actionable deliverable and gained insight and profit from the experiment. But most of all, I'm proud that Cyanotech will be able to represent our product culture a little bit better now that we have more transparency, so that we can be centered around healthy individuals who love the outdoors and nature and ensure that we are operating with aloha and respect to the land, or Aina. Overall, I've shown our company that sustainable thinking can be profitable to business, and that success in this manner can contribute to gross profit in a compoundable manner. And furthermore, I believe that Cyanotech could find more success using sustainability in this way. So I encourage every one of our staff to go out, breathe the aloha, and be stewards of the land that we live in. Look for ways to uphold our mission statement and push forward into a new sustainable era of profitability. Thank you. I appreciate everyone who took the time to come out and see me and see my presentation. Let's get out there and get sustainable. Thank you very much. Bye.